talk some Saints as they welcome the Washington Commanders into the Dome coming up on Sunday. And, of course, with said Washington Commanders comes their quarterback, Jayden Daniels. And I think there was some contention in South Louisiana a couple of years ago when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase arrived in New Orleans to play in that game. And there were a lot of Saints fans who were bristling at LSU fans, whether they were an LSU fan or not, but bristling at LSU fans who potentially might side with Joe and Jamar and the Bengals over the homestanding New Orleans Saints. And I get that. Look, it happened in this room, in this chair. I kind of trolled Matt a little bit. I wore my Bengals shirt prior to that game, and Matt did not like it very much. He threw all of my stuff on the ground and had some colorful things to say to me as I exited the room. And that's okay to have some passion about your team and to feel a little bit defensive. There are far more LSU fans who care deeply about the Saints and wanted the Saints to win that game than there are folks like me who are just diehard LSU folks who have not lived and breathed with the New Orleans Saints for our entire lives. There aren't that many of us. So I think that any animus that may have been there for that Bengals game, I'm not saying I wore a orange Bengals shirt on Sunday and was yelling and screaming at the TV. I wasn't. I watched that game, and it was a tough inning for the Saints, and Joe hit Jamar for that touchdown to win it. But I want the Saints to win as well. But I don't think that the build up to that game, Joe and Jamar coming back off the Super Bowl berth, I don't feel that this time around with Jayden Daniels coming in. Jayden has played great. Jayden's had a better rookie year than Joe had. Now, Joe got hurt in his rookie year, but Jayden has had a better rookie year. You're talking about a guy in Jayden Daniels right now who is fourth in the NFL in completion percentage among qualified starters with a 70% completion percentage. He's also ninth in the NFL in yards per attempt. He's running the football very, very well. He had a rushing touchdown in the game against the Titans. He had a rushing touchdown in the game against the Cowboys. He had 74 yards rushing in that game. In a game earlier against the Bears, he had 52. In a game against the Browns earlier this year, he had 82 yards. He's run for a significant amount. That's 2, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns already in this rookie campaign. So he's doing everything you thought he would do when he left LSU. I was certainly vocal about this. When I watched Jayden Daniels, and I watched every snap he took last year, when I watched him, I thought to myself, that guy has everything you would want in an NFL quarterback except 15 extra pounds. He's tall. He's 6'4". He's an elite athlete. He's played a ton of football as a starter, 5 years. He's accurate. He's decisive. He throws the deep ball. He checks it down. He takes care of it. He produces points. Like, there was nothing outside of his weight that you could have pointed to with Jayden Daniels and tried to pick it apart. And we had the discussion. It was Jayden Daniels. It was Caleb Williams. Like, who are you going to go with there? And my thing was, it's kind of like, are you trying to get Patrick Mahomes, a guy who has insane arm talent and makes a crazy off-script plays all the time? And, like, that's what Caleb Williams has, that kind of skill set. But does that always translate, or do you really have to be Patrick Mahomes to make that work? Or would you rather take the guy that kind of has the skill set you're looking for? He plays the position like Lamar Jackson does. He plays the position not with quite the arm strength and physicality, but with the athleticism and the big playability, kind of like Josh Allen does to an extent. And I liked the guy that did more on script, but had the ability to go off script in Jayden Daniels than the guy in Caleb Williams who's just kind of out there trying to make a play. And I'm not putting dirt on Caleb Williams' NFL career. Far from it. The Bears are a mess, and that's not his fault. But Washington has been a mess for a long time, and Jayden Daniels has helped to clean a little bit of that up. Now, Philly's gotten white hot, and they're in control of that division now, but Washington's very much right there in the mix, and he's part of that. And I think that has resonated to an extent with LSU fans, but I don't think to the extent it did in Cincinnati. And I think that shined through when the Commanders and Cincinnati played back a few weeks ago on Monday Night Football, and I felt like a lot of people in LSU circles were pulling for the Bengals there. I don't think there's going to be a sizable amount at all of LSU folks in that dome on Sunday. I do not think so at all. Now, it's a very, very popular trip to come down to New Orleans in the NFL season, so there may be some Washington fans, but those will be folks from that region, not necessarily this one. And I think that That's probably the way Saints fans would prefer it. The question is who the Saints are going to start at quarterback to duel Jayden Daniels. And I get the sense, and we talked about this on Monday, that that's going to be Spencer Rattler. I just feel like that's Klint Kubiak's guy. And I feel like Darren Rizzi's probably going to be in position to give that decision to Klint Kubiak. Maybe not. I don't know that. I just feel that. Usually when interim coaches come in, they loosen the reins, not tighten them, right? So you're generally not in a position as an interim coach to go, all right, I'm taking control of that. Now, when Ed Ogeron took over at LSU, he kicked Cam Cameron to the curb, said, you're done. And that was an authoritative thing that he did. But most of the stuff he did when he got to LSU as the interim coach was kind of relax things. And you heard the same thing with Darren Rizzi. They changed some of the things they did in the locker room. They changed the vibes at practice with some music. I just don't think he's going to look at Klint Kubiak and go, all right, I'm the head honcho now. This is the guy you're starting. I think Kubiak will make that call, and I think Klint Kubiak is more likely to go with the more raw, talented player that can do some more things and think that he'll put him in position to take advantage of those attributes. I think it'll be Spencer Rattler in the game coming up on Sunday. I don't have a strong preference as to who I'd like to see play. I think the likelihood is that the Saints have a couple of guys available to them that are backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I think it's unlikely that either of these two guys emerges as a true threat to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. I think that it's more likely that Spencer Rattler could develop into that. I just don't think it is likely that either one of them does develop into that. And Washington's got a pretty good defense. You're going to have to block up front and run the football to help out whoever it is that's playing quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Jayden Daniels can kind of do some things on his own a little bit. You don't have that skill set here with your quarterback in New Orleans. But I think it's going to be an all-SEC matchup. I think you're going to take Jayden Daniels and South Carolina Spencer Rattler, and I think those are going to be two of the guys that you see play in this game on Sunday. And quite frankly, I think that leans toward Washington. If I knew I was going to get a full-throat, electrified December Superdome, I might feel differently. I don't think I'm going to get that. I think I'm going to get a Superdome that's a little bit tuned out on this whole thing, that may have some opposing fans in it, and I think the Saints are the lesser team. I think those ingredients pull the other way. We'll find out this week. I think we don't have the practice participation report to this point. We certainly don't have an injury report to this point. And maybe Derek Carr tapes it up and tries to go play. I just can't imagine that 7 days after the injury he suffered. So to me, I think we'll probably find out on Thursday who the Saints quarterback will be. I think it's going to be Spencer Rattler. Either way, it'll be Jayden Daniels, and I'm excited to watch the game. I'm excited to watch Jayden Daniels play. But it's going to, I believe, be an SEC matchup of quarterbacks coming up on Sunday inside the Dome. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.